In April 1984, British Airways began using Delta Golf as one of the main spare part sources, 3.5 years since her last and what proved to be her final flight. The aircraft was kept structurally sound, and even in the early 1990s, British Airways investigated the possibility of refitting her for airline service. Their study proved that if one of the 7 BA aircraft suffered serious damage, parts from the damaged and written off aircraft could be fitted to Delta Golf and the airframe used to bring the fleet back up to strength. The plan proved to be too costly and was rejected. But even as it looked like the end of the road was near for Delta Golf, she was again found to be useful in late 2002 for the prototype fittings of the new strengthened cockpit doors required by the authorities after September the 11th, 2001. The 2 low-loader lorries move away, and for the director of the museum, Alan Wynne, it's been an excellent day.
Absolute and total delight at having this thing here, having original bits of Concorde that were built here over 30 years ago, returning to exactly where they started life. It's just wonderful.
There is much restoration to do before members of the public will be able to step aboard the first British production Concorde. The company that disassembled her in Filton will start rejoining all the major parts together later in 2004, after they've reassembled Alpha Alpha at Scotland's Museum of Flight in East Fortune. Concorde has touched many people's hearts and is undoubtedly missed. I, for instance, can remember watching the inertially driven ground speed reading 1120 knots, something well over 1300 miles per hour, and as I took my cold smoked salmon and caviar, I can remember gazing to the horizon. Just discernible was the curvature of the earth, and if one looked up, the sky was a definite much darker blue than when observed from the surface of the earth. And if one looked down, one might just be rewarded by the sight of a jumbo jet wending its weary westward way. In fact, they really looked as if they were going backwards even when they were going forwards. Concorde perfected fly-by-wire, the means by which the control column signals the control surfaces, which tends to give the aircraft a very smooth and turbulence-free flight. It keeps, as one wag once put it, the gin in the glass, tends to flatter the flying abilities of the pilot. That system, fly-by-wire, was developed for the Airbus A320 and subsequent Airbus airliners. But now in future, visitors will be able to sample just a small taste of what it is like to be on board such a special aircraft.